Okay, let's do problem 5232. It's from the binomial distribution. They want us to find mu, the population mean. Well, if you look at the handout, the parameters for the binomial distribution, this is the handout for chapter 5 that you can find in Blackboard. See, the mean is mu is equal to NP. And while we're at it, you can see that the standard deviation is the square root of NPQ. So we have to identify those three, NP and Q, which is fairly straightforward because, well, let me make this smaller. Because N is 24 and P is 0.75. So that's 3/4, that's 18. If you use a calculator, right? You take 0.75 times 24, that's 18. So that's mu. That's the population mean. And they want the population standard deviation, sigma. Sigma is the square root of NPQ. So that's the square root of N. I'll just go ahead and repeat them. N times P times Q. Q is 0.25. It's the 1 minus P. So to one decimal place, 2.1. And then they want the rule of thumb. Well, the rule of thumb, if you looked at the handout, once again, there it is at the bottom, rule of thumb. It's plus or minus 2 standard deviations. So the lower limit is mu minus 2 sigma, and the upper limit is mu plus 2 sigma. And in between is your 95% confidence interval, so to speak. So if I go back to the problem at the calculator, for the significantly low would be mu, which was 18, minus 2 times 2.1 sigma. So the lower limit's 13.8. Then they want the upper limit, which will be 2 plus 2 sigma, mu plus 2 sigma. So I just go second, enter. I have the same formula, only I change the minus to a plus. Enter. 22.2 is the upper limit. So the third one is the result of 2 P's. Well, yeah, 2 P's is significantly low because it's less than 13.8. Anything that's between 13.8 and 22.2, so that would be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Those are not significant. They're in the middle. Anything below 13.8, so from 0 to 13 is significantly low, and from 23 or 24 is significantly high. Remember now, the number of successes can only go between 0 and 24 because n is 24. So the result is significantly low because 2 p pods is less than 13.8. So that's it. So you want those formulas. I'll show them to you again real quick. That's on the handout for chapter 5. You want the mean for the binomial, which is n times p. You want the standard deviation, which is the square root of n times p times q. And then the rule of thumb. There's a below range, which is less than 2 standard deviations below the mean. And the above range is 2 standard deviations above the mean. And so in between is what we call usual. Below or above in the tails is unusually high or unusually low. We call those also significantly low or significantly high. So that's it for this problem, 5.2.30.